shot, bleeding out, and thousands of feet in the air. We don't know where we are or how we got here, but we have to survive. All of this is within the first few seconds of Uncharted 2, and it lets us know that we're in for a crazy ride. Seeing our main character hanging off a train that's probably 15,000 feet in the air just immediately brings us to the edge of our seats. It begs so many questions. Where are we? What happened to the train? Who shot us? I mean, there's so much that we need answered. So while Nate is fighting for his life, let's rewind a bit. So a few months prior, we see Nathan at a bar on the beach, drinking alone, until a very trustworthy looking Brit shows up by the name of Harry Flynn. Him and Nate clearly have a history together, and they were buddies before. Well, more like partners in crime, but you get what I mean. Harry is here to give Nate a gig. Someone random is paying him a bunch of money to retrieve something. One small problem though. The place that we have to break into, well, Nate doesn't like it really, since two people have already died trying to steal from there. And even if Nate wanted to go, it's a 3-person job, so who could possibly help us? Oh dang, this is Chloe. No, not that one. Chloe Fraser, one of the best getaway drivers, and she definitely knows, and she's the best too. So Harry and Chloe just tracked us down because they need the help of the greatest treasure hunter of all time to steal a lamp. An oil lamp to be specific. The man who hired them is interested in it and they have no clue why. So we quickly figure out that the lamp is covered in Mongolian script and Marco Polo actually hid something inside of the lamp. So we all agreed to double cross Harry and Chloe's boss, so nothing could possibly go wrong, right? Okay, never mind. So we wake up and things aren't looking too good. For starters, we have no idea where we are. And secondly, we have a bit of a boo-boo in our stomach, aka a gunshot wound. So after finding a gun, we send this guy to his maker, and we maneuver around the whole train crash site. And you really feel just how out of it Nate is right now. Bro's moving so slow, hunching over, yeah, it's clear he's been getting cooked. After an explosion knocks us out, we flash back to months earlier when Chloe knocks on our door. Huh, interesting. So Chloe and Nate have a bit of a history, clearly. They definitely used to date or just fool around a little bit. And our boy Nate is just a tad bit jealous of how close Chloe and Flynn were. But Chloe explains that after this, her and Nate are going to take their share of the money, then run away together. And if that wasn't enough, she makes him feel a little bit better in some other ways. We wake back up freezing and dying, nothing new for us, and have to climb around a bit just to try and survive. Nate finds a dagger and clings onto it, almost like it would be important. Whatever. Who cares, because now we're in Istanbul. 4 months prior to that whole train mess, we're with Harry and Chloe, and we're gonna sneak into the same museum that Nathan was terrified of breaking into. But this time it seems like we have a solid plan. Chloe's gonna go kill the lights on the tower, while Nathan and Flynn make their way towards it quietly. Our girl gives us a quick goodbye and then we're off. So I mentioned it in my video about Uncharted 1 a bit, but moments and missions like this where Nathan has someone to talk to and have banter with are always some of the best parts of each game, and their dialogue seems so real and makes us, the player, feel so much more immersed and connected with the story and characters. And everyone is also just hella funny too.
We find the camp. You always follow the hose.
So it makes the game that much more enjoyable. This museum section is really cool too, honestly. Like Naughty Dog improved on everything from Uncharted 1, especially environmental and level design. You can really tell they took their time when building this mission, and they deserve all the praise. So this chapter is nothing too complicated. We're making our way to the tower in the museum, so we gotta sneak past some guards. Well, some is an understatement. It is a lot of guards, and we get to do a bit of stealth here too. It's nothing groundbreaking, of course, because the focus of this game is straight up combat, but it is useful to just lower the amount of enemies you're about to engage with, you know? Also, if any of you guys work in a museum, then let me know, is the security usually this heavy? If I had to guess, I'd probably say it's like close-ish to this, depending on what type of artifacts they hold, but you never know, right? So after going through the courtyard, we reach another building, and it is not looking too good. Until Harry pulls out guns. Oh, tranquilizer guns. Never mind. So our jobs get 10 times easier with these. We wipe out the guards, climb up a bit, and get one of the best lines in the whole game.
There's a guy above you, there's a guy above you. There's a guy below you, there's a guy below you.
Then we finally make it to the tower. Chloe kills the lights, then it's our cue. And there it is, the oil lamp we've been searching for. So Nathan treats it with the care it deserves, and okay, never mind, he smashes it. But it's for nothing, because the paper is blank. Or so we thought.
Our ships were driven by a great flood tide into the wilds of Java.
Sounds like they were hit by a tsunami.
Yeah, somewhere off the west coast of Borneo.
Oh great, that narrows it down a bit.
Look, to throw off the terrible cargo we carried from Shambhala. The curse of the Chintamani. Marco Polo found Shambhala. Shangri-La.
You're joking.
If they were carrying the Chintamani stone, it might still be there.
Okay, so now that we know where to look, it's time for us to make our escape.
What the hell are you doing?
Sorry, mate. This is where we part ways. You've been played.
This slimy little prick. I knew from the second I saw his smug face, we couldn't trust him. Every Harry I've met has been pure evil. Sorry if any of you are named Harry, I'm sure you're lovely. We don't even have much time to be mad at him because the security guards are here, meaning it's time to dip. We head through the sewers and all around to make our escape, but clearly it's not enough and we get caught. Fast forward about 3 months later and our boy Nate is not doing well. He's been locked up since he got caught and bro is tweaking, reenacting what happened with Flynn and making like hand puppets. He's losing his freaking mind. But no worries because Victor goddamn Sullivan comes to our rescue. So he spent the last of our money to get us out, and we'd be much happier if this traitor didn't show her face. Chloe was the one who told Sully where we were, and she claims she didn't know Flynn would betray us. And Nate doesn't really want to hear it until Sully gives us some fantastic news.
They found the ships.
In Borneo.
Yes.
And the Chintamani stone?
How do you know about that?
Do you really think Flynn could have figured that out on his own?
All right, good point.
Flynn and his client, Lazarovich.
You know, the nutcase. They've been working together all along.
We are gonna snatch that treasure right out from under them.
They'll never see it coming.
Man, well, payback's a bitch.
So the Chintamani stone is what we're really hunting after. Uncharted 1, it was El Dorado, and Uncharted 2 is this. It's this huge sapphire that was seen as a sacred object, but most importantly, it's worth millions. So to find out exactly how we're going to get the stone, we're going to need to steal the same files that Lazarovich had on Marco Polo. Chloe's going to cause a distraction, and our journey is officially starting, and it leads us to Borneo. So Chloe sets up some explosives that we have to arm while we're out here, then sneak into Lazarovich's camp. And this part is basically just a better version of the first jungle chapter in Uncharted 1. Like, I feel like they literally made this just to mog that one. But this area just looks really good, yeah. But it also has some of my favorite dialogue in the entire franchise.
You brought a hooker to church?
Why not?
Sully and Nate have such a good dynamic, and that's of course due to the fact that Richard McGonagall, did I say that right? Richard McGonagall and Nolan North have some amazing chemistry, and it truly feels like they've known each other for years and are best friends. Their performances are outstanding, and it's only enhanced by the fact that this game actually used mocap as well, which if you've been watching some of my other videos, then you know I love that stuff. But doing mocap work is honestly just really impressive as well. Having to put on this weird skin-tight black suit with white balls on it, make a joke in the comments, I dare you. But it just seems like it'd be really awkward and difficult to focus with. So Steve Valentine, the actor for Harry Flynn, actually provides a lot of pretty cool insight into the mocap process in this video here. So I'll try to remember to leave a link down below so you can watch it yourself. But in it he talks about the difficulties of wearing the suit, how you have to find another way to connect with the character you're playing because you don't have stuff like the clothes or shoes, for example, to really help you embody them, you know? You have to forget that you're wearing the suit as well. So him and the whole cast discussed this a bit more in detail, so go check that out. But for now, let's see what Nate and Sully are up to.
I don't know, Sully, maybe...
Nate, I left you alone for 1 minute. So here we get a nice little simple melee combat tutorial. You get to counter enemy grabs now, and the melee attacks just seem a bit more refined compared to Uncharted 1. So we make it to Lazarovich's camp and we see him just tearing Flynn a new one before a soldier interrupts them.
That must be Lazarovich.
This man was caught stealing artifacts from site number 5.
You would betray me for this?
No, Zoran, I can't explain.
No need. I am surrounded by traitors and fools!
Yeah, this guy's absolutely ruthless. Definitely scarier than Roman and Navarro in Uncharted 1. So we take out the last bit of enemies at the camp very quietly and get a look at Lazarovich's files on Marco Polo. The place is almost empty now since, you know, we just blew up the other bombs. So this spread pretty thin right now. So we learned that Marco Polo actually didn't even have the Chintamani stone and that he found it but never took it. So Lazarovich is actually looking for Shambhala because the stone is still there. So we need to pick back up on Marco Polo's trail. So it's time to head to the mountains because, well, where else would you go if a tsunami hit? But we have one little roadblock to handle before we can head out. Here we get a pretty decently sized gauntlet of enemies. They're coming from every single direction, and I know these villains in Uncharted are mad as hell every time they hear that Nathan is on the scene. Because bro is just one man, and he has probably killed like 1,000 armed soldiers at this point, and none of them canonically have even hit him with a bullet. Well, not yet, but we'll get there soon. Speaking of Nate getting shot, I'm not sure how canon or true this is, but I've heard that when Nate actually gets shot at during gameplay, he's not just tanking bullets like he's Luke Cage or something, but the screen going gray is actually his luck running out. So basically, as he gets shot, everything is just a close call, or like barely misses him, or he dodges it until his luck runs out and he takes a fatal hit. Whether it's completely true or not, I don't know, but I really hope it is because it sounds cool as hell. After that combat section, we meet back up with Chloe and we find an area with hundreds of bodies, presumably of Marco Polo's crew, because this is where they hid out during the tsunami. We find more of that blue resin from the museum, and we have to follow a trail of blood until it leads us to a skeleton, and Nate just can't help himself.
Careful.
Christ almighty.
Just kidding.
But in the skeleton's hands, we find an object called a purba, which is a Tibetan ritual object. And based on what I read about it, while it does look like a dagger, it's not actually used for physical harm, but instead to drive away or eliminate spiritual enemies, such as the 3 poisons of Buddhism, which would be greed, hatred, and delusion or ignorance. And not to reach too far, but those 3 can literally describe Lazarevich perfectly. Bro is greedy as hell to find Shambhala and the Chintamani stone for all the power, his hatred for Nathan, and his delusion of him thinking that he's a great man and he's doing what needs to be done. You know, it really all just describes him perfectly. Maybe I am reaching though. But if any of you know about this topic or practice Buddhism, then please give me some more insight in the comments, and also correct me if I got anything wrong here too. So we figure out that the purba is the golden passport we need to enter Shambhala, and that to find where it is, we have to go to a temple in Nepal to reveal the passageway. Only problem though, there's tons of temples there, and also it's a city now as well, so not good. But nothing could go wrong, I'm sure. We head back up above ground, and what the hell? So this 2-timing, double-crossing baddie just betrayed us and told Flynn about the map. So now him and Lazarevich know exactly where to go. Great. Flynn tells Chloe to bring us to Lazarevich, and while we're walking, she attacks a soldier for us, and we actually get both of them off this land of the living. Chloe tells us to meet her in Nepal and gives us a little good luck gift too. Can't stay happy for too long though, because Chloe still has to keep up the act that she's working with them, so she goes to tell them that we got away while we make our escape. This reminds me a lot of the escape scene from Uncharted 1 after Sully gets shot, but this is obviously just light years better. Unfortunately though, we reach the end of the road and there's nowhere else to go.
Now what do we do?
We jump?
Oh, hold on there, Sundance. You gotta be out of your mind. We'll break our goddamn necks.
If we get caught, Lazarevich will break them for us.
I'm getting too old for this bullshit.
Oh, come on, now don't you start this again.
Listen, I don't have your luck. Guys like me gotta know when to walk away from the table.
Sully, we're gonna get out of this, okay? We always do.
Shall we?
After you, Butch.
See you in hell, kid!
I'll be honest, I don't know how we survived that. How is that even possible? Whatever, it's a video game, who cares? So our adventure now lands us in Nepal. We gotta meet up with Chloe and look for this temple. Over here is crazy though. It's like a full-on war here. So a big truck accidentally bumps into us, but I'm sure it was a mistake, right? Oh, or not. We had a really cool set piece where we run and shoot the hell out of the truck, and it's stuff like this that really shows how much they improved since the first game. It's so short but still intense and just makes you feel, well, really cool, you know? And like you barely survived. And trust me, the set pieces only get crazier from here. So we're gonna meet Chloe in the old market part of town, but some more soldiers show up and they get cooked. Like, oh my god, what the hell? We'll clean up the rest of them, then make our way up some street signs. I know I keep saying this, but the improvement from Uncharted 1 to 2 is so amazing. It was pretty creative in my opinion to have like us climb street signs, swing from different street lights and things like that. Well, at least creative compared to what we had to climb in Uncharted 1, which is mostly just the same stuff. So we get a nice little combat section here, and honestly, I love this game's combat. The new weapons like the FAL or even the riot shield makes things so much more fun and adds a feeling of novelty to it, you know? Also, fun fact, the FAL actually stands for Fusil Automatique Leger.
Try it!
Which is French and translates to light automatic gun, I believe. Clearly I'm not French, that pronunciation was not it. But if any of you are French, then yeah, just, you know, bully me in the comments about how bad that sounded. So after combat, we meet back up with Chloe, and Nate is clearly very happy.
Oh, is that an ancient Tibetan ritual dagger in your pocket?
Oh, maybe I'm just happy to see you.
But since there's literally hundreds of temples in the city, we decided it's probably best to go up to high ground and spot our needle in the haystack, as Chloe puts it. Pretty random, but I found this cool Easter egg for Uncharted 1. It's a sign that says Hotel Dorado. I played this game a bunch of times and it's my first time seeing it, so pretty cool. So we're moving through this burning building, then make it to this huge arena with a bunch of enemies. Not gonna lie, this area on crushing was probably brutal. I don't really remember this part. I know it was probably insane, because the enemies just keep on coming. But honestly, no matter how much enemies they throw at me, it will never be as infuriating as Uncharted 1. That game had me thinking I was actually in battle. I went to sleep and woke up like still curling my finger, thinking I was holding R2 because I was shooting so much like the night before. It was crazy. So we take out these guys though, then start making our way into the hotel. I'm sure from here is smooth sailing. Okay, so never mind. But we take out freaking Hunk from Resident Evil, and now it should be smooth sailing. Man, are we serious? We try to pry the elevator open, but only Nate makes it through, so we gotta turn the power on. I know Nate's having some war flashbacks right now. We get this cool climbing section where we're swinging on flagpoles, and not to brag, but I've gotten 90% or higher on multiple flag quizzes, so I'm kind of like a genius, no big deal. Barely graduated from high school, by the way. I know this part is quick for the most part, but it's another thing that I really like about Uncharted 2. Naughty Dog knew they couldn't just throw thousands of combat sections into this game, so they break it up and pace the game really well, in my opinion. You have the mini exploration sections like this, and they sprinkle a little bit of enemies here, just a tad bit. But it's never too much, so it doesn't feel like we're only fighting enemies for an hour, or that we're only exploring for an hour. There's just a few exceptions to this, like the train chapter for example, but they do it really well there, so it's not even a bad thing, honestly. No parts overstay their welcome, and it's just such a great improvement. Okay, so in this part, we turn on the power and we get Chloe out of the elevator, but my audio didn't record for this part, so I'll just play everything on screen as I tell you guys to subscribe, because it's free. Also, we figure out that Lazarevich actually knows where we are and he's looking for us, so it's time to get out of here. Especially because we know where the right temple actually is. Okay, now, Editor Z, out. We try to climb over this gap, but then, what the hell?
Holy shit.
Bro, do you know how bad you have to hate someone to send a attack helicopter after them? It reminds me of how there were like 100 men chasing Ellie in the winter section of The Last of Us. I know this is different, but it's still crazy. It's just as crazy. Like, Lazarevich is sending hundreds, if not 1,000 of his soldiers to kill one man. And bro still isn't dead. It's insane. Well, not canonically at least, but Lord knows I died hella times in this game. And somehow Nathan isn't dead, even though the helicopter is literally blowing up the building that we're in. We barely survive and make our way back to the rooftops. There's more soldiers, but we clear them out pretty fast. And this dang helicopter comes back. Bro just can't hop off. But luckily we get a grenade launcher and it's time to get to work. So after we take that out, we maneuver around the city some more. And when we're on the ground, we run into a pretty familiar face.
Whoa, hey, don't shoot!
Hey! Nate? What the hell are you doing here? Jeff, don't!
Wait, you know this guy?
Yeah. This is Drake.
Oh. Sorry.
So yeah, Elena is here in Nepal, in the exact same area we're in. Is it fate or a coincidence? Who knows? What we do know is that Elena is actually on Lazarevich's trail. The rest of the world actually thinks that Lazarevich is dead, so she's gonna go disprove that. And we get a little bit more info about how evil he is, you know, classic stuff. Oh, and Jeff is here too. Chloe shows up and she sharpens a knife because she quickly figures out that Nate and Elena have some history. And we get one of my favorite lines in the entire game.
Oh, Elena Fisher. Last year's model.
That's cute.
So it's clear that Nate and Elena ended on some bad terms. Last we saw them was the end of Uncharted 1, and it seemed like they'd live a happy life, you know, it'd be pretty cool. But everything is not what it seems, or whatever Abraham Lincoln said. So he tells them to come with us just to make sure, like, you know, they don't die out here. So we get our combat sections. There's nothing crazy right now, just, you know, they throw some enemies at us to remind us that Nate is a serial killer. And we find a way to get everyone across the water here. And without even a second to breathe, a turret starts lighting us up. One thing I do appreciate with the combat in Uncharted 2 though, is that it's not always just spray down this target and keep moving. They give us a few different scenarios where, you know, things are a bit different, like the guys in turret who we got to flank, for example, or the big armored dudes who we have to hit with a bunch of grenades or explosives, or hell, even the sniping section later on in the game, you know? Most of the time, yeah, it's just stay in cover and kill your enemies. But when they do something different to break it up a bit, I really do like that. You know what else I like? This sexy temple that we finally reached. Nate is catching Elena up with the Chintamani stone, and Jeff, of all people, chimes in.
So let me get this straight. You're competing with a psychopathic war criminal for a mythological gemstone?
When you put it that way, it does sound pretty stupid.
Another helicopter is hot on the trail though, so we go inside and tell Jeff and Elena to wait for us. Now here we get a small puzzle, I guess you could say. I don't know what else to call it, so puzzle it is. And you basically have to just move the pieces around the statue to match up with what was in the journal. Then finally a slot opens up for us to stick the purple dagger into, and into the secret passageway we go. I'm not at all complaining when I say this because I love feeling like an actual treasure hunter, but who the hell actually built all these secret passageways and stuff? Like, it's actually pretty funny to think about. But of course, it's just a video game, so just enjoy it. We barely escaped this random death track. Like, seriously, who was building this? And then we make it into some huge room that looks pretty cool, honestly. There's a huge purple dagger in the middle of the room. And here we get like another mini puzzle where we have to align the light across the room into like the eyes of the faces so that we can stick the dagger into those and blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of random elaborate stuff that you'd expect from people who built this whole thing. You also get to climb the purple dagger too, and I'll admit it's a really nice view. Well, when I'm not falling to my death at least. So we open up the last slot, and now the dagger in the sky opened up a pathway on the ground. So we use our passport, and an entire like full-on 3D model basically pops up. And thankfully, Nathan knows exactly where this is, so he marks it on the map. I'm sure there will be no consequences to this later. Still though, we take a win when we can, but not for too long though, because Lazarevich's men are here now. So we gotta fight them and rush back to Elena and Jeff. We take out all the enemies, but clearly, we were just a bit too late.
We better keep moving.
He's hit.
I'm okay. Let me see.
Oh.
All right, you're gonna be fine. All right? Think you can stand? I think so. All right, come on, hop in. No, leave that. It's busted anyway. Here we go. Up.
Nate.
He's fine. Aren't you, Chief? All right, get the door open.
He's never gonna make it. We have to leave him.
What? No!
Get the door open,
He's
Chloe.
gonna get us all killed.
Protecting Jeff and getting him to safety is our #1 priority right now. I didn't like him at first, I can't lie, but I won't let him die on my watch. We make it to a building, but Jeff isn't looking too good right now, and he sure as hell can't make the jump. And Chloe switches teams, of course, and freaking Flynn is here as well. This guy is genuinely like a mosquito. The other soldiers take Chloe away because she's hurt, as Flynn says, and we finally come face to face with the man himself, Zoran Lazarevich, and he wastes no time proving that he's evil.
Did you carry him all the way from the temple? Shame.
Nate tries to save Elena and buy some more time by promising that he'll lead Lazarevich to the treasure, but he just has to let Elena go. But once Flynn finds the same map that we marked up, Nathan is all out of tricks. It seems like all hope is lost until Elena shows off that mean right hook and we make a run for it. Not gonna lie, they have some pretty bad aim, but I'm not complaining. So we run through the city, barely dodging bullets, explosions, dozens of Lazarevich's men, then we finally find some safety. So you guys see that too? Just me? I'm seeing some sparks. Nate, being the savior he is, decides to go after Chloe, and Elena is coming too. She's helping us rescue a whole other woman, by the way. Elena is a legendary character, and she is a ride or die. I don't want to hear anyone say she's not a top 5 spouse in fiction. Okay, sorry, my bad. Take a breath. And then we start making our way to the rail yard. We get a pretty cool combat section here, and remember when I was saying that Naughty Dog did really well with adding new types of combat scenarios? Well, this is one of them. It's pretty small, nothing too crazy, but instead of the classic stay behind cover and shoot, we get the section where we're hanging on street signs and using them as cover while we shoot at enemies. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Again, nothing groundbreaking, but clearly I'm just a bit too easy to impress. So we clear these guys out, then make it to the rail yard, and for everyone who's already played this game, you know what's coming up soon. But patience, keep in your pants for just another minute. Elena's job is to grab a car for us while we go to the train, snatch Chloe, then dip out of there. I mean, this plane is foolproof. What could possibly go wrong? I have really got to stop just talking, honestly. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. There's hella enemies and they're surrounding us. I remember crushing this part was absolute hell. Like, it took me probably an hour to beat, honestly. Right before these beefcakes can turn us into SpongeBob, Elena shows up and saves the day. Surely Nathan realizes that this is insane though, and he turns the other way, right?
Here we go.
No, hold on. You're almost there. Just now. Jump!
Okay, guess that answers my question. So we're finally here, the peak of Uncharted 2. So this entire chapter, or next 2 chapters I should say, is just nothing short of amazing. There's a bunch of enemies on the train you have to take out. They have all these different guns that they drop. You know, we can use their weapons, of course. And we just keep moving forward, trying to get to the front of the car so we can get Elena and get the hell out of here. Although, like Elena said before, I don't know how Nate expects to get off this train, but whatever, we'll figure that out later, I guess. And thankfully, the train isn't just combat only, you know? There's different signs or lights that are on the top of the train or on the side. So when we're climbing, we actually have to think about where we're going and what we're doing. And we have to, dodge the signs, of course. So it's pretty cool. We have to actually pay attention and not just mindless shooting. But don't worry though, because there's another helicopter here. Oh, you thought Nate was done getting attacked by helicopters. Yeah, definitely not. So there's another one right now, and they are sending attack helicopters after one man. Do I need to say how crazy this is? He's one guy. But to be fair, he's one guy who's causing hella trouble, so I don't even blame them, honestly. So this helicopter is just relentless, and it does some pretty crazy damage, even if you're on normal. And this helicopter seems like it is unkillable. But I guess Nathan is too, because how the hell is he still alive? I wish I was this lucky. Like, if I thought I survived crazy stuff, it is nothing compared to this guy. It's just another Wednesday for him. So thankfully, the helicopter is nowhere near us right now. And we head inside a little tunnel. We have to take out some regular enemies. I get one pumped by this big dude, so ignore that. So we come out from under the tunnel. We're actually hella high up in the mountains. It is crazy. It's snowing here, and like Nathan says, it's freezing. And honestly, if I was him, I would probably think I'm going to die in the next hour or two, but he's still fighting to get Chloe, so props to him. And of course, if you remember the beginning of the game, we were on a train in a snowy mountain, so that can only mean one thing. Whatever, we'll worry about that later. Because for now, of course, there's even more enemies to take out. And oh my god, how are we supposed to kill this behemoth? Well, the answer is with quick thinking. So this death is actually really funny. I'm not gonna lie, the way he rolled off the logs. I shouldn't be laughing at his death, but whatever. So Rambo over here calls for some backup, and oh my god, are we serious? There's literally no possible way for us to kill this. Oh, okay, hello. So we get inside this turret, and we just mow down this helicopter. I mean, there was no hesitation. This one was giving us hell just a few minutes ago, so best believe I was spraying this trigger into my last breath, my last bullet, everything. So we take out the helicopter, and he just flies right into the side of the cliff. That's crazy. There's more enemies here, but we take care of them, of course. Then we have to deal with freaking Rambo on steroids, and he is bulletproof first of all, so you actually have to kill him in melee combat. Of course, it's light work for Nate the Gray, so we take him out and we get back our dagger. But then this mutant wakes up, and right before he can kill us, someone saves us.
Save my ass again. Are you all right?
Get off the train, Nate.
What are you talking about? You have any idea what I've been through?
I never asked for any of your bloody heroics.
Chloe, come on, we don't have time for this.
You're right. So get off the train while you still can.
And leave you with them.
You made your choice.
What did you expect me to do?
I expected you to have my back.
I had your back.
How could you possibly with the other two on yours?
Good luck with
Man,
Flynn.
Chloe's voice acting in here is phenomenal. Claudia Black, who was the voice actor for Chloe, did really well in this role. Like the way she was speaking here, it just honestly sounded like someone who was really hurt emotionally from what Nathan did. Even though we know Nathan was just trying to, be a hero and a good guy and save the lives of Elena and Jeff especially, but Chloe felt betrayed and as if Nate cared more about them than her. And Claudia Black conveys that so well in her voice and her performance, honestly. So just all the praises to her. She cooked. She did really well in this game. One of the best performances in the franchise, no doubt. So unfortunately, this argument gets cut a little short because the most unexpected thing ever happens.
No. You just don't know when to quit, do you?
Nathan Drake gets shot. I thought he was invulnerable. And he was surviving everything. I mean, this train chapter or two was pushing his luck probably, so he definitely ran out. And of course, it was Harry Flynn. I hate talking about this guy. Let's just skip over this. So shot, bleeding out, falling to the ground, and it feels like there's no escape or no way out. Nate pulls out his gun and he makes a very important decision.
Here goes nothing.
Oh god, here we go again. So back to the start of the game. We also got some, new dialogue now that it's not spoilers anymore. Since, we just went through it with him saying stuff like, yeah, go save Chloe. Yeah, smart one. What was I thinking? Stuff like that, It's pretty funny, pretty interesting. And just let me know if I'm tweaking. But climbing a train that's thousands of feet in the air with a bullet inside him, is that not crazy? I know bro is supposed to be different, but they couldn't just make it graze him. He literally got shot in the stomach. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, he got shot in the stomach. I don't know who they think Nathan is, but bro's different. Now, who would win in a fight, Leon or Nathan? Yeah, that's not even the question, honestly. Sorry, Leon's taking that. So once we get off the train, we have a lot more combat here. Bro tried to catch his breath for a second, but he couldn't, so we gotta take them out. Honestly, still, I don't know how bro's fighting with a bullet in him, but hey, he's the GOAT, right? So after all this fighting, Nathan tries to just escape and get away, but it is clearly too much for his body to handle, and he collapses, with a strange man in the background as well. So we wake up in some random building with a little girl just looking at us. That was funny as hell. And next to her is the same man who saves us, who we saw before when we collapsed. He's speaking Tibetan and we do not understand any of that. So we just nod our head and smile. He gives us something to drink and some clothes, and we head on our way. So after leaving that, we walk through this little town and figure out that we're in like a village, basically. There's a whole community here, a bunch of people and families. And it's really cool seeing this. I like seeing areas like this where people are just living their normal lives and they're just chilling, honestly. With the mountains up in the back as well, it just looks really nice. We see some cool stuff like kids playing soccer and we try to get them to kick it back, but they don't know what's going on, so. But it's still really fun. So we get to a new building where Tenzin leads us to an, oh my god, Elena? So she's somehow here and she takes us to meet someone named Carl Schaefer. He was actually hired to lead an expedition into Tibet, which is where we are right now, to find Shambhala, even though that the people who hired him really wanted the Chintamani stone. He asks us where we found the Purba dagger, and then he tells us that Lazarevich actually doesn't know how important the dagger really is. And here we actually get a pretty cool scene of Nathan dealing with, well, you know, the trauma of everything that's happening, and I'll just let it play out for you.
What if it's only beginning?
Where did you find this guy?
Trust me, young man, your ego will mend. You're just lucky to be alive.
Yeah, you know, people are always telling me how lucky I am. But the truth is, everything I touch turns to shit.
Nate.
No, Elena, I'm done. Now, come on, I'm through playing the hero.
Your adversary will not give up so easily. He will not stop until he possesses the thing he desires.
Oh, yeah? Well, more power to him.
Power is precisely the problem.
But yeah, here we get a pretty realistic reaction from Nathan. I'm sure if any normal person actually went through something like this, they would be tweaking. I know if I went through something like this and someone dared to call me lucky, I don't know what I would say. I just got shot in the stomach, barely survived. I'm in a random town. I'm probably not going to find this treasure. There's a war criminal hunting after me. Don't you dare call me lucky or we will fight. Schaefer warns us about the real power behind the Chintamani stone and tells us that if Lazarevich gets his hands on it, then basically it's over for the world. And honestly, one thing is I don't really understand why Nate is so skeptical about the Chintamani stone. He's already seen stuff like El Dorado and what it did to people, so I don't know why he thinks the Chintamani stone can be that as well. But whatever, just a little nitpick. So Schaefer sends us with Tenzin to go and find the remains of his expedition from like 70 years ago. Our girl gives us a little good luck kiss and we are on our way. So traversing through like these super icy and snowy caves. Tenzin in this part is really funny. He's really cool. Even though he doesn't speak English, it's just really funny and one of my favorite parts of this game. Tenzin is the GOAT. I mean, this guy could scrap, climb, he could fight. He's just so tough. And this is what I meant when I said like Naughty Dog really improved with, you know, breaking out the chapters into different mechanics. Not mechanics, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like Uncharted 1 where we have 15 straight chapters of combat for 2 hours, you know? Like, we've had our big, heavy combat section with the train. Now we have, like, you know, 2 chapters of us walking through the town and then traversing in the caves. And we only really get combat towards the end of it, you know? I like how they break everything up. Also, this area just looks really good as well. I know it came out 2009. I know this is remastered, but it just looks really cool. The ice and the snow and all the lighting, it just looks really good. I wish I knew a bit more about game design and stuff like that. I should probably just like take a course on that, honestly, to make my videos better. But yeah, it just looks really fire. So when we're going along the trail, we see a random body. They're a little too chill about that. I'd be scared as hell. But we get to this other section where we're climbing up a bit, and what the hell is that? First playthrough that terrified me and scared the bejesus out of me. I definitely closed the game for like 20 minutes before I went back and played it. That was scary as hell. I think the area where power is out in the end of Uncharted 1 is scarier, but these creatures themselves are scarier. Whatever, we get to this new area and oh my god, it's really pretty. All the lighting and the way the sun is coming through and beaming on it, like the ice, it just looks so good. So not really much to discuss here. Is a bit of climbing. Okay, never mind. So this absolute behemoth attacks Tenzin and we gotta try to kill this thing. But I don't think it's gonna die easily. So we put about 4,000 bullets into it maybe. And bro's still alive. And he almost kills us until Tenzin stabs it and then it runs away. Yeah, we are so cooked. But like I was saying, this environment looks really good. I have to give a lot of props to, of course, the whole team who worked on Uncharted 2. Everyone absolutely cooked, but especially Bruce Straley, who was actually the game director of Uncharted 2. And he was promoted because he was one of the art directors on Uncharted 1. And clearly he knows what he is doing because everything in this game looks so good. Like every single sculpture, every statue, every area, every temple passageway just has this really cool and interesting design. It makes you just look at it and be like, wow, you know? So I do really like this part of the game. I think they really excelled in that area as well. So in this section, it's a lot of climbing. We're going around this entire room climbing different stuff. And most of the stuff is either breaking or like timed. So for example, if a block is coming out of the wall and you don't climb it fast enough, it'll just go back into the wall. So yeah, a lot of climbing. Not too tedious. Maybe overstayed its welcome a tiny bit, but it's fine. It just makes the game feel more interesting, how we're not just mindlessly climbing. At least there's a little bit of thinking involved with it. So after a whole bunch of climbing or parkouring, we get on to 2 pressure plates and now a bridge is forming and leads us right to this big statue. The door shuts behind us, but we're not worried about that right now because there's a bunch of bodies on the floor. We figure out that it's actually Schaefer's men from his expedition. One of them was carrying the resin in his little container thing, so it's a bit odd, but these men weren't torn apart by those creatures. They were shot, and if only one man made it out, I think we could piece together who did the shooting. We also figure out that these guys were Nazis, which is crazy. Can't believe that was like something so chill, but whatever. But yeah, we figure out that Schaefer killed everyone here because it was the only way to stop them. Because he knew that if this got out of hand, the entire world would be cooked, basically. Of course, the conversation gets cut short because there's more creatures here. And that means a bunch more shooting. We're basically unloading our whole clips into them because they have hella health, honestly. But it's just a waste of bullets at this point because these guys do not die. So we call the elevator and it's time to actually make our escape. And thank God we made it out okay, never mind. This last one gets kicked off the flight and we make it back to safety. I'm not gonna lie, if I was Nathan, I'll be having nightmares after this. These creepy weird creatures at the end, the zombies at the end of Uncharted 1 or whatever they were. How is bro still even sane? There's no time to be creeped out though because we look down and we see the entire village is on fire. And there's only one man who would attack this village. So we head down, we talk to Elena and she confirms our suspicions. It's the Tsarevich. And Schaefer actually has Tenzin's daughter, so we gotta go and rescue them as well and bring them to safety. So Nate and Tenzin are here and they just absolutely clean house. We're mowing down enemies. There's a bunch of them. The village is helping us. They're shooting with their crossbows. It is insane. It's a really cool combat section though, and it just looks really nice as we get to go through the village a second time. This time we're killing Lazarevich's men. See, that's pretty cool, but not for long because they brought a whole dang tank. Are we serious? A tank to stop one man? Well, to be fair, they're destroying the whole village, so I'll give them that. But yeah, we have to just, maneuver around, kill regular enemies, and also try to stop this tank. But luckily, there's a couple RPGs laying around, so you know what that means. So we find Tenzin's daughter, thank God she's alive, but unfortunately, no Schaefer, because the Tsarevich actually took him because Schaefer had the Purba dagger. So Nate and Elena get in the truck and we go after them. Yeah, pretty normal, pretty chill. I'm sure it'll all be fine. Yeah, it is definitely not all going to be fine. But we'll be fun because we get an amazing section at set piece. This game is honestly amazing. So basically, we have to jump through different cars and trucks while shooting enemies so that, we don't die. And each car is blowing up as we're on them after a certain amount of time or after a certain amount of shots to take. So we have to keep jumping, from car to car, like I said. And it's just so fun. It's exciting. It's just everything you want in a set piece, Naughty Dog really cooked here. Like, it's generally just dumb fun. Like I said in my first video, Uncharted is basically just a playable action movie, and I love them for that. So we jump back in Elena's truck, and it seems like things are going well until bro pulls out the big guns, and it's over.
There's no way they survived that. Let's go.
We somehow survive this, and Nate and Elena just take a seat and figure out the next step.
Nice view.
Men.
No, I was talking about the mountains. Really.
Sure you were, buddy. Sure you were. So we're still on the hunt to rescue Schaefer, and from here, I was getting some Uncharted 1 flashbacks, not gonna lie. Naughty Dog was just throwing enemies at us here like, god dang. I could have stopped recording for like 30 minutes, then pick back up again, because it was straight combat. So we reach a door that we can't get through, and we have to go around. Subtly, Elena says. Sure, I think we can handle that. Okay, my bad, dang. So we reached this tall building and there are tons of snipers looking at us. So we got to get to the roof and pick them off one by one. This is what I was talking about earlier. Pretty cool sections where it's not just spray your AK-47 or your M4 and kill the enemies. We have, snipers who are trying to snipe us and we got to pick them off with the same weapon. Pretty cool. So we cross over and okay or not, it's the weirdest death I've ever had in this game. It's like the only bug I've seen. But we spot Schaefer and Lazarevich. But the bridge we're on literally crumbles like a granola bar and Nate has to climb for his life here. Nathan Brake strikes again. After a much needed promise, we start making our way to Schaefer, and holy hell, there's a lot of enemies in the way. Let's pass all this. We find Schaefer, and he's not looking too hot right now. We tell him that he found the expedition, and Schaefer gives us his dying wish.
You have to stop it.
Try not to move.
This monastery hides the secret path to Shambhala. You must get the dagger back, find the secret path, and destroy the stone before he gets his hands on it. Drake, you have to believe.
Schaefer.
Right now, only concern is stopping Lazarevich. Just to make sure we avenge our boy Schaefer, you know? But that's not gonna happen if these creatures are here. I cannot fight those. What the hell? We reach the tower, we see Lazarevich, Chloe, and Flynn talking. Well, I should say we see Lazarevich threatening Flynn because bro's pretty pissed that he hasn't led into the stone yet. We tries to leave to smooth things over with Lazarevich, but I doubt it's gonna go well. And Nate, being the dramatic ore farmer he is, drops down like he's Iron Man. This actually fried me.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
So we get the dagger back from Chloe, and in this room we solve a small little puzzle. We have to match up these things on the ground with the correct symbols, nothing too difficult. You got to pay attention to the journal. Me, on the other hand, I'm pretty dumb. And even though I played this game 3 or 4 times, I still forgot, and I went on YouTube. Thank you to CD Dub for the solution, you're the GOAT. So we solve, and a window looking or door thing opens up, and we spot our secret entrance. A bunch of enemies are guarding it, but we make quick work of them, and we open up our passageway. It leads us to a cool looking room, but no Shambhala here. Well, not yet at least. We turn around, some purple daggers, and now we're in business. Okay, never mind. Nate, being the smart guy he is, does the smartest thing he could do here. Also, Lazarevich is just genuinely laughably evil. Bro called the Big H and Paw Paw great men. Like, that's crazy. It's looking pretty scary right now, but we have one of Lazarevich's men, so I'm sure we have a bit of leverage. Okay, never mind. And to make things even worse, here's Chloe as well. He's planning to use one of them as a lesson and the other as motivation to help him. Of course, Nate, being the good guy he is, doesn't want either of them to die, so he agrees to help. We burn the resin, and once again, the purple dagger opens a secret passageway. I'm gonna silence if I said purple dagger and a secret passageway this video, but with the huge room in front of us, Lazarevich sends us and Flynn to find a way across. His dialogue here is so funny, it's some of the best in the game. They both hate each other. Nate's hate is justified, to be fair. Ooh, Nate's hate us a bar. But all the banter and dissing of each other just makes this as hella enjoyable.
Come on, girly girl. There you go.
Statue of your mom.
We solve another quick puzzle where we have to turn these things and match the symbols with what's in the journal, and we eventually end up fixing the bridge. Probably won't survive to touch the bridge ourselves though, because even more of the weird creatures pop up, and these guys seem immortal. I'll spring all my bullets into them, and I feel like I'll never even kill one of them. I can't believe I'm even saying this here, but Lazarevich comes to our rescue. We open the gate and we finally see Shambhala in all its glory. And it is beautiful. Seriously, this area is gorgeous. All the colors, the golden color on each structure and all the greenery, it's perfect. Unfortunately though, it seems like this is going to be Nathan's last sight because Lazarevich now plans to kill us. He's wanted us to actually see Shambhala before we died. Now he's going on about how annoying we've been this whole time, how he's going to get to kill us, blah, blah, blah. But he wants to kill all 3 of us, and Harry wants Chloe alive. So somehow that works, and he gets to save Chloe. But before Lazarevich gets to put a cap in us, you know Nathan and Elena aren't going to let it happen. So they fight back, but then this guy gets a random arrow in his back. And we turn around and we see more creatures, but not the same ones from before. These guys are bluer and nastier and creepier. So as they're shooting Lazarevich's men, we waste no time and we dip out of there. These creatures are crazy though. Like, do y'all see the way they were moving? So of course we waste no time and reach this bottom area. And Nate and Elena clearly know they have to stop Lazarevich. But Chloe is not really the hero archetype, so she's trying to get the hell out of here and, you know, survive and live to see another day, which can't blame her. But Nate and Elena are better than that, and they know that this can't get into the wrong hands. They've already seen how power could corrupt someone into doing something that could destroy the world. And somehow we actually convince Chloe that it's the right thing to do. And that's what we have to do. So here it's a whole lot of combat we're going through. It's a bunch of really good looking areas though, honestly. Like, it gets a little bit darker in this area, for example, but it just looks so good. It almost reminds me of like a location from Baldur's Gate, you know, in the Underdark kind of. I know I keep name dropping that game, but it just looks so good. And it's such a good game, honestly. I already got to finish it. But yeah, it's just a bunch of combat. We're fighting these guardian things or regular enemies, but these guardians take so much damage to get put down. It is crazy. The crossbows do a lot of damage though. So if you ever play this on Crushing, make sure you use those. So we go up some stairs and we reach this building, and finally here it is, the Chintamani stone. But it looks a little off. Well, because it's not sapphire like Marco Polo said. It's actually amber, or like tree sap, basically. And Nate pieces together the fact that the resin is actually what was causing these people to turn to these guardian things, which is why the guardians had like black teeth, because they were eating it or drinking it. So we have to stop Lazarevich before he gets to it. He's already on his way. But we look to the right and we see Harry Flynn, and bro is beat the hell up, bleeding, barely even standing. Looking a little off, honestly. Rambling going on, you know how he is. And Elena's actually trying to tell Flynn that we can stop Lazarevich and we can help him as well. But this little prick doesn't want that. And Lazarevich left him with a little parting gift.
Get back!
Elena!
No.
Oh my god.
Helena!
Harry Flynn, S-tier hater. He could have easily just thrown that grenade anywhere else, or just used the grenade at himself, but bro had to try to take out Nate and Elena. This guy is so different. I thought 50 Cent was a hater. This dude is crazy. So Elena is pretty banged up and we have to get her the hell out of here. So we're moving through trying to protect Elena as Chloe is carrying her. We finally reach the area where Elena could just lay back for a bit. I don't know how she's even still alive and not ripped to shreds, because that was a hand grenade, but again, it's a video game, whatever. So Chloe wants to get out of there, but you know Nate, Mr. Hero himself. Chloe's pleading with him to not go, but Nate knows what he has to do. And he goes down to stop Lazarevich. So we head down there and we see Lazarevich drinking the resin. And it clears up all his scars and marks just super quick. Nate wastes no time though, shoots the resin, and it blows up everyone around there. Nate is laughing thinking it's over, but we're just getting started. Lazarevich rises back up like Spider-Man in Kraven's Last Hunt. So it's time for the final boss fight of the game, and it is... I mean, it's all right. Like, it's 2009. I don't expect the boss fight to be anything crazy, but it's decent, I guess. You basically have to run around the whole arena and just, shoot the resin while Lazarevich is running past, because it's going to blow up and do damage to him. Again, nothing groundbreaking, but whatever. It's miles better than Uncharted 1, I'll say that. So you just do this a few times and Lazarevich is beat. Yay. But this fight is pretty hard and crushing. I'll give them that. It's pretty challenging. So after that, Lazarevich is on his knees and begging us to kill him. And he makes a pretty good point about how Nathan has killed just as many people as he has today, probably. Well, that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. He tells us that we don't have the will. And he's right. But we know who does. So the Guardians are tearing into Lazarevich, but that has nothing to do with us as we make our escape. Well, our almost escape, because Shambhala is crumbling. The whole place is coming down and this bridge is literally falling apart. Nathan is beaten up, battered, tired, and he's still running for his life just to make sure he can make it home. And of course, being the goat he is, he makes it off the bridge. But we're not out of the waters yet. Because right behind Chloe is a Guardian. And that Guardian is coming for blood. So we get this pretty cool shot where we have to shoot this Guardian off of Chloe as we're like sliding down this entire thing. It's pretty fire, honestly, can't lie. Then after that, we see Shambhala in flames and ruins, just destroyed. Nathan Drake strikes again. So we somehow make it out and carry Elena to safety. We fast forward a little bit and we see Tenzin and Nate just praying together for Elena's health, I'm assuming. Mark my words, by Uncharted 4, I'm gonna know how to say a sentence in Tibetan, I think. Well, Chloe pulls up here and we have a nice little talk with her, and she asks us a very important question, asking us if we love Elena. Of course, we all know the answer to that though, and she tells us to just go and tell Elena that ourselves. Of course, not without getting the last word though.
But admit it, you're gonna miss this ass.
Oh my god, the GOAT Victor Sullivan is back. Thank God, this game really needed him. He's just so cool. So Sully goes after Chloe, can't blame him. We have a nice little talk with Elena. Nathan wastes absolutely no time at all, and bro gets to smooching. Thank God our goats are back together. So we get this nice little wholesome scene where she's asking him like how scared he was of her death, and I'll let the rest of it play out for you.
4?
Yeah, why?
A 4.
Yeah.
You were at least an 8.
An 8?
You were a total 8.
An 8? Those Guardian things were an 8.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, those were terrifying.
What's a 10?
Clowns?
Clowns over my death?
I hate clowns. I hate clowns.
Oh my word. You thought I was dead.
No.
No, you thought I was gone.
No,
Yes,
no.
you did.
No,
I
I
saw
had you all
shed
along.
tears. You shed a bunch of them.
Tears? It was raining.
No, it was not.
You were unconscious and it was
It
raining.
was totally sunny out and you were bawling.
It wasn't sunny. You were unconscious.
Whatever. I kept your tears in a jar. I have proof.
I'll give you 5. How's that?
And that is Uncharted 2. Man, this game is a hell of a ride. One of my favorite games of all time. I'd say definitely top 3. I actually have a list of my favorite games. So at 200 subscribers, I'll probably reveal that list for you guys. Don't worry. Now, this game is nothing short of amazing. It is the perfect sequel. It improves on every single thing from the first game, basically. Like, drastically. It made everything so much better. The story was amazing. The pacing was much better. The combat was so much more fluid and fun and interesting. The characters, of course, are all amazing, and their performances were spectacular. Only thing is, I wish we had a little bit more Sully. I know it's been a little hard to write him into the story in this game, like with the way the story was, but I do wish they found a way. Other than that small nitpick, this game was pretty spectacular. Pretty amazing. Pretty ultimate, I should say. So yeah, this is one of my favorite games of all time. Top 3, like I said. If you guys want me to keep going with Uncharted and covering the series, then let me know. I don't know if the next video will be Uncharted 3, but it'll probably be something else. Also, sorry this video took a little longer to come out than usual. I try to do like once every week or every like 8-9 days, but this clearly took a bit too long. Don't worry though, I'll get back on schedule. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then like and subscribe. It's free, you know? So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. Have a great day, everybody. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Stay safe and stay hydrated. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
So where do we go from here, huh?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead.
Of course not. But then again, neither have I.
Good.